Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, and ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. I will, of course, ask that you be a little bit patient with me with this video. I left my mouse. I'm currently traveling for the next couple of days, and I'm currently using an Xbox controller as my mouse, so I do apologize for any jerkiness in the control scheme. I have it so I can zoom in and out and whatnot. So again, please just be patient with me. Starting off with Team 1's Eastern player we have is Yoji. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 2,000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1, and tied for the highest rated overall. To his west, we have in Barbie Pink, it is Psycho Ad. He is a UEF for this match as a 1,700. To his northeast, we have in Chevy Crimson another Seraphim for Team 1. It is Okpuk as an 1,800. Continuing on all the way on is Lonesome here in the northwestern side of the map. It is Mythologist. He is a UEF for this match in Regal Purple as a 1,400. Shifting eastward, we have in Orange Color Orange, it is Raider as the one and only Aeon for Team 1. He is a 1,600. And rounding out Team 1's backline here, we have Maverick. He is a UEF in Emerald Green as a 1,300. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 2 Seraphim, and 1 Aeon. Team 1 lacks the Cybrin faction. Starting off with Team 2's northern player and then going kind of a southeastwardly direction, we have in Ruby Red, Team 2's Cavat. He is a 2,000 rated player. He's the highest rated player on Team 2 and tied for Yoji for the highest rated player overall. To his east, we have in Rust, it is Vaswam 1, or Vas for short. He is a UEF for this match as a 1,700. Shifting southeast, we have Lafuke Lou, I'm going to call him Lou for short. He is a Seraphim. He is in Light Oak Tan as a 1,800. And rounding out Team 2's front line in the south, we have Velarone. He is a UEF. He is in Lightish Red Pink as a 1,600. Team 2's first of possibly 2 air players is Nagel. He is in Tropical Ocean Blue as a Seraphim for this match as a 1,600. Running out Team 2's backline, moving his way towards the middle, at least in that direction, is M13. Best number there. He is a 1,300, so nice naming scheme there. He is a Seraphim, again, in the rear guard air slot. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have only Seraphim and UEFs, 4 of them, in fact. Seraphim, 2 UEF, which means Team 2 lacked Aeon and the Cybrin faction, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Cybrin players. Apologies to those spiky space socialists. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 12 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at, well, that's not a lot. Only not even 3,000 mass per player. What is that? A little over 200 mass. That's not really great for our players to scoop up. Not really even worth writing home about or anything. The mechs count, not super great here for our players to grab as well. We do see in the southeast a quad mechs position for Velarone to grab, as well as another quad mechs for his teammate of Lou to grab. Is that Lou? Yeah, that's Lou to grab. We do hear a couple of shots in the middle here between a couple of players on Team 1. I don't think common action has occurred as of yet, but of course there's shots being fired. And in the west, there is a Trimex position, both on the northwestern corner, and another one just a little bit south of that. So not a lot of mechs expansions. So Eco's going to take a little bit longer to get to in this game in terms of scaling. But of course, that does mean that there's going to be lots of juicy come action vying for the middle of the map. We see Psychoad and Voss going after a couple of those mexes. Again, they each trade. They got some T1 mass out of them, and that is about it. I will say it is very weird using an Xbox controller. I have it mapped so the mouse is one of the sticks, the joysticks, and then I have zoom in and zoom out on the D-pad. But it's very, very weird. I've never thought of doing this before, but I forgot my mouse, and I have an Xbox controller because I brought my Xbox with me for traveling for a couple of days because I thought, why not? And yeah, so again, like I said, please be patient with me. It is very, very weird, and yes, I will make sure that I have a mouse with me for not next video, but the following video. I'll be back home. It's just a quick work trip, so nothing too crazy. We do see Velarone getting not 2v1, but it's actually 1v2'd here in terms of him and his teammate of Lou going after Yoji. So ganging up on the highest rate of play on Team 1. Definitely a good option to do that. But again, nothing to scoff at. Lou is at 1,800 rating, so there isn't that much of a discrepancy between those two. And 1,600 Velarone, a little bit behind him. In the West, we see another 2v1 situation between Psychoad and Team 2's Voss and M13. So not a lot of players from Team 1, at least in this area of the map. Akbuk is a little bit north of his position, going for an upgrade on board that comm, most likely gun. Cavan almost done with his upgrade. He's actually pretty far forward. We do see a couple of units trying to be run by here by his opponent of Mythologist, but I really don't think that's going to happen long term. We do see Raider is falling back. In the eastern side, we do see Maverick is moving in with a couple of engineers. He has gun on board that comm, so he's going to be able to fight back a little bit. And there's some reinforcements inbound from the Barbie Pink player of Team 1 Psychoad against Velarone's Lattice Red Pink comm. So kind of a discrepancy, not a discrepancy, but a discussion about what color scheme is best. And they both think that the other one has a better pink on board that comm. I think it is a UEF versus UEF affair there, so kind of a civil war going down in this game. We do see Team 1's central player here of Akbuk pushing back. There are, of course, two players. Oh, got to make sure I'm going the right direction there. In the east, but again, we do see Voss has guns, so that could be a nice little engagement there. And M13 might hang back a little bit just because he is one of at least possibly two air players in this game, so doesn't want to die very early. Air players rarely want to do that. Nobody really wants to do that at all, but specifically air players, because their role doesn't usually pop up until mid to late game. A couple of bombers overhead, just annoying loof, nothing too crazy. We do see Maverick is shifting eastward with that gun on board, and we do see... Well, Maverick is going west. Yoji is going east. There we go. It looks like he changes directions. Now going after the more vulnerable Velarone. Does have one star veterancy on board, but isn't too crazy in terms of a possible 2v1 engagement, specifically because both those comms have gun on board. We do see a nice little charge in the middle for Voss going after Psychoad's comm, trying to deny the upgrade. I don't think the upgrade will be denied. Again, shots will be fired between these two comms, but I don't really think that's going to really matter in a couple of moments as this upgrade will finish. Again, no faction advantage. It is just a UEF versus a UEF, but Voss is pretty close to 1 star, which what he's probably trying to go for with those units behind Psychoad, but he might get close to it. He might grab it, but it's going to be close. We do see that M13 is bringing up the rear, but again, Akpuk is nearby. He could try to cut off M13 and deny the reinforcement. M13 is now getting hit. Not feeling good there. Needs to watch out for any sort of continued bombardment from Akpuk, and he's not doing super well now. He's getting stuck by that T1 mechs location, or just the mechs location in general. I always call them T1s for some reason when they don't have any mexes on board. But Team 2's Cavat not retreating by any means. It's not a 2v1 in the northwest. It's mainly just a 1v1 with a couple of units from Mythologist. He's over here to the west. He's grabbed that position, gone for T2 to make sure he secures it for himself. And, of course, his team, if he so chooses or not chooses to die. We do see that Cavan has T2 also on board, so able to just soak up a little bit more damage. Raider does have speed / range on board, so able to fight at the same speed and range as his opponent. Maverick is now being pinged. Voss being heavily bombarded, and there he goes. Team 2 suffers the first casualty of the game. And it looks like Voss just kind of got overwhelmed, and then he was going to get sandwiched anyways between Akpuk and Maverick anyways, so rather, either M13, Maverick or Akpuk got the kill. It was going to be just a sandwich, and Team 1 scores the first kill of the game, dropping this game to a 6v5 in their favor. Southeast, we do see Yoji pushing back quite heavily with the departure of... Voss is going to be a little bit better in the middle here for Team 1 to contend with, but in the east, we do see that Velarone had to go, fall back a little bit. And we do see that now Nagel coming in to assist. So there are 3 comms on this eastern side. Yoji needs to be careful at least just a little bit because he could get bombarded or at least sandwiched or double teamed or whatever ice cream, sandwich, food item, whatever you want to call it on the eastern side. 3v1 bot, says Yoji. Yep. So he's like, hey, I need some assistance. Maverick is kind of a floater, looks like now. So nothing too worrisome for either teams. But again, he is all by his lonesome, so he could easily get swarmed. He just has to be careful, though. If he pushes too far forward, it could not be great. It does look like Cabat gains control of the middle base that once belonged to Voss. Most likely M13's more focused on, of course, going for his air. But we do see a huge run by, and not even just a run by, infiltration into Mythologist's base. T1 PD is coming online now, so that will slowly be dealing with these units. There are some T1 artillery going after the said PD, which they're actually being focused down. So great micro there by Mythologist going after those Zoomies, and then everything else. It ensures that at least the PD emplacement will survive. Ooh, E-storage would be great to grab. Nothing too critical later in the game in terms of, 11 minutes isn't that late. Engineers trying to build a T1 PD to stop, but I don't think they'll make it. T1 bomber should be en route here shortly to deal with that. So 1 T2 mechs will go down, but nothing too much. But in the south, apologies for missing it. Looks like Maverick got killed off by some bombers and the Kama Velarone. Ooh, that has got to hurt. Not great here. We might even see, is there anything? Oh, that's the wrong button. Oh, that's the right button. No, nothing too big in terms of the reclaim situations. Yeah, probably just a decent amount of T1 bombers. Yoji being pushed back, of course, got AoE'd a little bit by the explosion of Maverick's comm. And we do see that Nagel nowhere nearby, as well as Lou. So, yeah, just looks like it was a 1v1 affair with some bombers assisting from Velarone. So, great job there. Yoji is being pushed back quite heavily here on the east. We won't probably see much out of him for at least a little bit in terms of his comm. But we might actually just see him being killed off here. T1 bombers are circling, and I don't think he has anywhere to go, which means he might just die here. Yep, there he goes. Team 1 loses another player back-to-back. Nice double kill here from Velarone. Drops this game to a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. And, of course, there's a conversation in chat. Everybody kind of knows that situation. Not going to comment on it, but everybody can see it, of course, rerun the video and all of that. Couple of Ilshis on the front line for Okpuk trying to push back M13 in the middle. We do see a couple of PD nearby for M13 driving those Ilshis away. There's a lot of spam inbound. Couple of Ilshis also online for Team 2's Cavat as well. So that's, again, kind of helping to keep Team 1 going north instead of going south. T3 Air is online for at least one player on Team 1, and that is going to be for Raider. T2 Air is online now for, who's that? That is Okpuk. He's going for T3 as we speak. And T3 Air is online for both of the Brigade Air Slot players for Team 2. So pretty much the players who I thought were going to go air did go air, and one's just a little bit behind, but nothing too bad. Again, we have dual bases for Okpuk and for Psychoad for Team 1 and dual bases for Cavat. So looks like air is being a little bit more priority here for Team 1's Okpuk just because he wants to, again, double base and all of that. And then, of course, Psychoad being the commander now for the eastern flank. Or I guess in their perspective, if they're sitting outside of their comms, technically it's western, but tomato, potato. Also, I will point out that I will possibly be getting a new mobile laptop just to help with the stuttering a little bit. I know it happens once in a while. It's not super bad, but I do know some of you have commented about it in some recent videos of mine last week or whatever it was. So I am looking in getting one. I don't know when I'm getting it entirely, but the budget isn't too bad. I can kind of wiggle in a computer here or there. It'll probably be mid-February when I end up getting it, so a couple of weeks, but nothing too bad. So again, just be aware of that. I just think this, it's at least a 5-year computer that I'm currently using this on. So, there's a 1060 in here, which isn't bad considering, but I think it's just kind of EOL end of life, kind of nearing its, just death throes essentially. Pepe sitting here with Nano on board, make sure that he doesn't get just bombarded by some bombers or just a lot of Team 1 units. We see in the West, Mythologist going for more of the annoyance missile nonsense here from his side of things. Again, he is UEF, and maybe we'll see Tactical Billy Nuke. We did have 2 players on Team 2 at UEF. They lost one of them. Team 1, I think they had 3. Because Yoji was Seraphim, yeah. So, there were 5 players in the game that have Tactical Billy Nuke's possibilities. Now we're down to 3. So at least somebody's going to go Tactical Billy Nuke at a minimum. At least you would hope. If Ferv was in the game, we know what he would be doing. And, of course, Firebasing going down for Cavat just to counter that missile nonsense. Raider actually pretty far forward considering he is going for an upgrade on board the comm. He has Shield now on board. He'll probably go for either Advanced Range or Heavy Shield. Heavy Shield might be a little bit, he does have some power, so maybe. But I feel like more Advanced Range probably be a little bit better just to help, again, kind of shore up this little attack vector here. We do see Okpuk dealing with a couple of Raiders from Team 2's Lou. Just, again, annoying. It gives him a little bit more veterancy on board the comm, sitting at 2 stars. And on the east, we see Psychohead still holding position. So Team 2 kind of just staying standoffish on this eastern side. They had 2 kills back-to-back. They're kind of happy where they're sitting over there. Looks like they're going to be more focused on ecoing up. Team 2, speaking of which, sitting at, eco situation, 650. Team 1 at 500. So it's starting to favor Team 2 a little bit. Again, it is only 16 minutes on the clock, so anything can happen in the next 30 or so minutes that this game continues on. So, ample opportunities for both teams to win. Looks like Tactical Missile was outbound from the comm of Lou, but gets denied. So we'll have to wish he was a UEF and go for Billy Nuke, but he doesn't have that, of course. So hopefully one of his teammates nearby will go for that. And Nagel's going for an upgrade on his, I think it's chest plate. So it's going to be either Nano or just Nano. I don't think there are other upgrades for the Seraphim comm and for like the chest piece, the chassis essentially. But I don't see anybody else going anything for except Nano. It's kind of like the UEF. They got Shield, or you got actually Billy Nuke and not Shield's on his Shield in the middle. I can't remember. No, it is Shield. It's Shield or Missile. That's right, because the main chassis is Shield. That's right. Yeah. A couple of Othams inbound from Okpuk. Cavat trying to chase those down, doing a decent job of trying to catch up to them. T1 PD built. That's going to help out a lot, but there are some mexes going down, which of course is the main thing because you got to get that eco flowing. Lots of E-storage is going to go down here for M13, but he spread them out quite nicely. He's getting more as we speak, so he's not going to be completely drained of power. He's not going to be super happy about it, but at least at a minimum, he's going to be better that he placed them a little bit farther away than closer together. But that's a lot of T2 mexes for Team 2 to lose. 1, 2, 3. Didn't actually grab that one. So 3. Going to be 4 and then maybe 5. There is a Titan chasing him. T2 PD being built to try to counter this. Titan is now down. Second Titan is inbound. Epic Tank says Maverick. Yep. I would assume he's talking about these ones, which... who else would he be talking about? Another Mex is down. Done very good job here from Okpuk. 4-star vet. 4-star vet. So definitely worth its weight in mass. And then some. Almost 5-star vet for that one. Almost 5-star met for that one. 5-star met for that one that just died. Tons of mass guild here on Team 2 side of the map. Great job. Lots of distractions. Ooh, that's a bank of T1 power. I thought that was E-storage. That'd be worse. T2 P-gen going down. That's annoying. And the death of the last Otham from Team 1's Okpuk. So great job on his front. Saw an opportunity, took it, and just ran with it. There's only so much you can do in this game, of course, but those Authams did more than what was probably expected of them. T3 done on Naggle's Calm. In the eastern side of the map, looks like some spam facility starting here for Team 2's eastern player of Lou. Again, more of a distraction, annoyance than anything more aggressive. I mean, more punching power kind of thing. If it gets through, great. If not, then he didn't waste that much mass on it. Shako overhead, Team 3 strap bomber outbound from Raider. Going after, looks like Velarone's position. He's not, I mean, he's underneath shield coverage. He has a decent amount of Team 1 AA, so he should be fine long term, short term at least. Long term, maybe not, but there was a bomber. Was that a strap bomber? No, that's too small to be one. That's way too small to be one, yeah. Looks like Team 1 had some air invaders, but nothing too worrisome. ASF starting to stack up for both teams. Looks like Team 1's Raider just running away with it. Looks like it's just mainly those Coronas. I don't see really any other thing in the mix. Looks like Team 1's UEF pseudo air player of Okpuk is online. Trying to again help out his teammate in one way or the other. He could go for broadswords. He could go for restorers. Raider, so we could see a double gunship air modder start to occur. And we do see just whatever the heck's going up over here for Cavat, stacking a bunch of Yenzine up here because why not? Don't know why, but he is, so we'll see what that's about. Cavat holding position here. Looks like he kind of fell back a little bit. Doesn't want to be caught in the middle of the map where his frontline base is over here. It does have some missile launchers online, the mobile kind. And getting some more units to, of course, spam those Yenzine. Don't know what he's doing with them. Team 1's Mythologist has kind of seen this coming. And he has some PD being built. I don't know if it's going to be enough. And it looks like the Yenzine actually are just going to retreat anyways. So they might try to vector this way, or they might try to vector this way where the Titans are going. We'll just see where they end up going. Couple of Titans, speaking of which, on the eastern side. Again, nothing too just expensive over here. Couple of units, see what they do. Again, Team 1's kind of doing the more quality over quantity approach. Where like, we'll send a couple units in, see what happens. Oh, they do great? Okay, we'll send a couple more units in. Oh, they don't do great? That's fine. Tactical missile tried to kill off those Titans, but they move before the missile lands. Check in the middle of the map for Okpuk. Again, dual base definitely helps scale that thing pretty quickly. We do see there's like, hey, we need some defenses here. ACU gets pinged by Psycho, and most likely, yeah, he's talking about Lou, I guess. Not who I thought he was. Maverick pointing out snipers. Where is this at? Oh, just right here. Okay, yeah, there are some snipers right there, so that is a thing that'd be easily go after, but looks like the chicken does fall back. Fatty, pointed out by Raider. There is a Fatty going to be starting here for Cavat, but it's not there yet. Notice there's one being built somewhere. Oh, there's one back here. Okay, so Team 1 just making note of what's going on Team 2's southern front. Again, the fighting has kind of died down a little bit, and that's definitely the trend with especially 20-something minutes. Players are starting to get mainline T3 units really stacking and thinking about where to assail their opponents. Missile started for Mythologist, so maybe Tactical Billy Nuke. Maybe, maybe not. But Team 1 currently sitting at 4 players left. They lost Maverick and Yoji one after the other. Voss was the first killed on the game on Team 2. No one has died since, so it is a 5v4 affair with Team 2 in the lead. Mass incomes, it was favoring Team 2, but with the heroic Autham push here from Okpuk, it kind of drops the eco to 1.1 each. So again, staying lockstep with one another. And in terms of map control, it's fluid. I'd say maybe a little bit more percentage for Team 2, just because we see Team 2 in the middle and in the west versus in the east where, actually that is Team 2 in the east. So, yeah, a little bit in favor of Team 2. Nuke, Silo started for Okpuk, so we'll definitely look into where that is. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And again, thank you for your patience with me with my unconventional mouse controls. Hopefully it's not too jarring. It's also a little jarring for me. I had to figure out a way to set that up Had to go through Steam and all that just to get it to actually configure properly. So really do appreciate patience with that. Again, I won't forget a mouse. I'll make sure I put it in my bag and it sits there. Even if it's just a cheap $5 mouse or something, always have a backup just in case. Again, I really do appreciate time and attention to give to these videos. And hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And of course, as always, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Chicken is moving westward, but I feel like the time to use the chicken in terms of its full advantage is starting to pass. There is an air fight right to the east of here, and Team 1 is going to win it. There's some AA nearby for Okpuk. That is not great. There is some more ASF reinforcements, and there's even more for M13, so maybe not. T1 bombers overhead going after the chicken. Again, lightning tanks deal most of the damage, and really those bombers just did not stand a chance. I do love, of course, gotta support your experimentals with AA, especially considering the fact that Yoji and Maverick were killed by Team 1 bombers. Team 2 is kind of favoring the quantity over quality approach, at least in the bomber aspect. Nuke is done for Okpuk. It's over here in the northeastern corner with his UEF facility. We're double bringing those mexes up there to get more eco, and he is starting to heavily assist the loading of said nuke. So if Team 2 doesn't notice sooner than later, that is not great. Use Epic Bomber, says Maverick. Epic Bomber? What? No idea what he's talking about. Oh, I guess it's done some damage. 6,000 mass killed. In the west, Cavat being pushed back by a ton of Titans and a couple of Mongeese in there as well. Love to see those units be used. Again, they're not really super great long-term in terms of longevity in the game, but hey, they're there. They have some range. They have a grenade launcher, and, you know, they have a Gatling gun on it, so why not? Strap bomber over the eastern side here for Team 1. Don't know if this is that bomber that he was talking about. It is that bomber he was talking about. Looks like some interceptors are trying to catch up to it, but they'll do some damage to it, but nothing really worrisome. Some interceptors from Psycho Ed will cover that. Game is, like I said, starting to slow down even more, just a little bit, but again, it's going to kick off here shortly. I just know it. Missile outbound from Mythologist in the north, going after, I guess, forces for Cavat. Don't know exactly what he'd be targeting. He has some Percy's over here to the east. Love to see those things. Either he's going after a Mex or he's going after the P-Gen. That's kind of far forward. No, it's going after the P-Gen. That's going to hurt. TMD does shoot down that missile. Very unfortunate, but definitely need to shield that T3 P-Gen up, especially if it's that far forward. In these units stacking up for Velarone and for Lu, but mainly just Lu. I was going to say Vu, but Lu. There are some Percy's in the mix, though, for Velarone as well. Nagel kind of holding back. He's been focusing more on air, so that's why we don't see his comm be used that much. We do see SMD is almost loaded. It will beat the nukes loading at a minimum. I don't know if everywhere else has an SMD. No, not down here, and no in the west. So there are still pockets that Team 1 can go after. The air grid, it could be edged, but it's going to be a little close. This map is pretty small. You can't even see the northern or southern edges, so it's probably about a 13, if that. So it's a pretty small map. So I would not be surprised to see that SMD cover a lot more than it quote-unquote not normally does, but just due to the fact that, you know, the range at least is a little bit more skewed due to it being a smaller map. Oh, okay. It's not actually as much as I thought it was. Never mind. It's going to be close. I think he can edge nuke it. I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think he can. SMD says, Raider, there's one back here. That is being spam loaded as we speak by the M13, so he's really trying to counter that nuke, which makes me think Team 2 can see it, which all we have to do is, I could have just looked at it while I was looking at Team 2. Yep, they can't see it, so not going to be a surprise. Bad Boy is done for Cavat in the west, and that, of course, will push back the more weaker units from Team 1's Mythologist. We do see that in the east, the chicken has reemerged once again. Oh, maybe that's a different chicken. Looks like the same chicken. They all look the same, to be fair. That is a transport rack. That is not a chicken rack. I honestly think that's the same chicken. So, yeah, I guess that's the same chicken. That's one just been running around. Team 2 has already pretty much made a counter for that. They have their own chicken. They have a Fat Boy. They have some PD. They have more PD. They have some TMD just to protect against missiles. So, I mean, they've pretty much protected against the chicken for the most part. There is a new chicken over here, though, for Psychoad. There is another one as well. So, 2 of them here for Team 1. That's not great. There is a Fat Boy. Only one, though. If there was the same amount, if not one more extra, that'd be different. We do see an SMD being heavily assisted to the east. So Team 2 scrambling. We even see Nagel coming in. Looks like they helped build a chicken right next door to said SMD. In the north, Fat Boy now in range of those T3 mixes. Not great in terms of Team 1 losing some eco. Currently sitting at 1.3 to 1.4. Nuke fires, and I don't hear the announcer, which is very weird. I heard the audio kind of cut out for a second. So definitely weird. I'll have to investigate that later, why that just randomly cut out. That is definitely not supposed to happen. It's supposed to say my name. It just really muted the audio. Let's see how the nuke sounds. Kaboom! Well, it sounds normal. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know what happened there, but once the strategic launch message popped off, it just, or didn't pop off, it just kind of, not muted, but kind of muffled some of the audio. Again, I'll investigate that after the video. Apologies for that. That could just be, I don't know what that could be. Anyway, but I did hear that somebody, I didn't hear, but there was a comment that talked about that. So I just thought it was weird because I would play a replay. I'm like, oh, it sounds fine to me. But yeah, for some reason, yeah, it's a little bit harder to hear for some reason. No idea. We do see a nice little Awasa being built here for Lou. And in the east, Fat Boy is pushing in. I mean, I can hear it just sounds a little bit quieter than it should be, I think. Maybe I'll just up the volume a little bit. Maybe that'll fix it. In the west, we see another Fat Boy, but that's the one that's been there for a little bit, and it's, I mean, it took out the T3 mechs, but not the other mechs. Looks like there's a lot of spam artillery being built, so that's probably why. Chicken being built as well for Akbuk. Trying to add to his ranks in that regard. Large force in the west for Kavek. Can you win fight, says Lou. Some amount of whatever the heck that says from Maverick. And Fat Boy v Fat Boy going on. Team 2 kind of behind, especially with the shield going down. Chicken chasing it. That's not going to be good. Other Fat Boy dies by Fat Boy. Fat Boy dies by Chicken. Fat Boy's going to die by both, actually. So that's fun to watch. Yeah, it's just weird that I kind of confused about the audio. It's very, very weird. We do see a couple of units kind of get stranded in the middle of nowhere with that dual Chicken and Fat Boy pressure. They kind of help cement the fact that the Fat Boy died over there. Kind of not really going to help the cause one way or the other in that regard. Yep, there it goes. 31 minutes on the clock here. Teams are definitely thinking about how to end the game. It is 1.5 versus 1.5K mass income. So no real favor one way or the other. ASF look very well, but if Team 1 takes the fight now, they could actually win it entirely. Here comes the ASFs from from Lou. The bomber does not drop a payload. So not great there. ASF's going to just immediately wipe out the ones from Lou, and they're going to go after the bomber anyways. Immediate kill. Ooh, not great. And, of course, we see the remaining ASFs from M13 moving into assist. Nice little engagement there, getting a little bit more payback, but the bomber's dead. That's not great. And it's in front of 2 chickens and a Fat Boy. And Cavat control Ks. Don't know what was up with that. So, yeah, I don't really know. Maybe he just, I don't know. I don't know why he left. Anyway. Eastern side, Fat Boy and Chicken still push. It is now a 4v4 game with the departure of Cavat. Another nuke has been fired. Again, still didn't hear the announcer. Very weird. And satellite has been built for Okpuk. So that is something to also be aware of as I float around the map. Tactical nuke has been started for Psychoad. So he's going for tactical boom nuke. At least one player in the game has gone for it. Love to see it. T1 bombers overhead. Gonna almost take out the shield strength, but not actually take it out entirely. And SMD does not load in time. Very unfortunate. Here goes a second SMD. Kaboom! There goes that one. Very, very unfortunate. And of course, air fight will occur. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And it's going to go down. I think Team 2 has it. There is some AA in their area from Psychoad. I don't know if it'll be enough, though. And it looks like most of the ASFs from Nagel have been taken out, but it looks like there's going to be enough Nagel control K. Speaking of which, this is not going well for players left alive at this point. And there is, of course, that another bomber online for Team 2's Lou. And it's going just straight down the middle. Team 2 has air control, but they're not covering it. Are they going to go straight for the air grid? There is some AA coverage en route. He's going to get one bomb drop. Oh, Okpuk and Raider are standing right next to one another. Ooh, that's not going to be great. Raider will be shielded, though. Oh, shield comes online very nicely. I think it was kind of also camouflage because of everything. Okpuk not feeling good, though. Drops to 3,000 hit points. Bomber flies off screen. Very unfortunate. It means the reclaim will not go to Team 1. But that's just because of the inertia of the thing. Oh, it got to be able to turn around. Bomb did drop. Is it going to be close enough? Oh, right on top of Okpuk. There's no escaping that, my friend. Boom. There he goes. And it also AoEs onto Raider. Ooh, nice. Double kill here for Team 2. So now it goes from a 2v... I was going to say, actually, it was a 4v4 affair to a 2v3 affair in favor of Team 2, actually. But we do see in the north, Fat Boy is on its way. Chicken did make an assault. Actually, two of them, in fact. They get denied. I was going to say that bomber was not worth it, but it's a double kill. Yeah, it's a double kill. We have two Fat Boys, two Chickens on the eastern side. Again, there's still two satellites and the nuke to remember here for Team 1. Another bomber over top here for Lou. Really pumping those things out. Ooh, that's got to hurt. Takes out a lot of the shield strength. And it AoEs on a lot of units. Man, I just have this like frog in my... wow, I can't even speak, but frog in my throat. And that's going to land. That's not going to feel good. There he goes. Shield is down on the Fat Boy. And most of those supporting units are dead and gone. Lots of ASFs nearby to make sure it does not go down for the third time. There are some ASFs. They might try to make a play for it. But Veleron's base is not looking good. Another bomb drops right on top of the Fat Boy. Some ASFs do end up getting AoE'd there from the explosion being tall enough. The first Fat Boy is down. Second Fat Boy is not looking super great. And the ASFs continue to secure the area around said bomber. So great use of the second bomber. Good use of the third one. First one was not great at all. And here comes the last bomb. It's inbound. It's going to kill the Fat Boy. There's still a chicken there. A little bit west of that location. Chicken not even moving, actually. And oh, that Fat Boy is what? Oh, okay, it's dead. I was gonna say that Fat Boy is still alive somehow. Another bomber outbound from Team 1's Lou. Man, he just loved those things. I know he's Seraphim, and it's my favorite experimental air unit in the game, but still. And on the eastern side, bombers are making a play. They're dropping a little too short, though, but they're going after all the AoE. Not the AoE, but the AA. That one's going to drop. That one's going to drop right on top of one another. Definitely a little bit of a waste there, I think. And bombers will reload in time. No, doesn't look like the reload. This one veers right. Probably going after the artillery that's now being built in Psychoad's base. Bomber does go off map just for a brief moment, but had to turn around. Bomb does not drop in time. But Bomber is turning around, though. Could have gone after those mexes, though. I feel like that would have been more worth it. But tries to go after the nuke. Oh, not enough to kill the nuke off, but enough to take out some P-gens. And some shield coverage, I might add. Not great here, but there's a lot of mass for Team 1 to scoop up. So that is something to watch out for. Satellites over top going after SMDs. Obviously, that would be the main target of opportunity. So the nukes can come in pretty easily. Chicken somehow is still alive down here. Going after some T3 P-gens. There's also some E-storages down here. Not really great to lose those, but, nothing too bad. Another bomber inbound. Fat Boy to the north, still hanging out. Fat Boy to the south also for Lou. And the game, again, has shifted. Essentially, Veleron knocked out of the game. It's a 2v2 affair with Psychoad the leader in terms of income and base size, obviously, for Team 1. And Team 2, it is kind of more, again, air and some land. But it's mainly air for Team 2. That being Lou and M13. Team 1 bomber spam. I don't know if it'll save all the mexes in the area. T3 artillery is done for Psychoad, so the Duke is now online. Bombers losing hit points pretty quickly. There are some, bombers. The bombers are doing very well. There's also a T3 bomber in there, so it's kind of helping out quite a ton. And there goes the chicken. It's down. The air grid over here will be a little bit singed, but nothing too worrisome. Nuke is outbound from Team 1. Again, I don't know why it's not saying the strategic launch notification. Very weird. I will have to investigate that. Maybe I'll run the cast again, or run the replay again and edit some sound settings, and maybe that'll fix it. I don't know. It's just very weird. Very, very weird. And that is going to land. There is no SMD in sight. And, of course, he's going after vulnerable targets just like this. And it's going to be great because that's, 5 mexes? Kaboom! Yeah, that's 5 mexes. Great snipe there. Drops more than 100 mass per second. Team 1, 1.4. Team 2, 1.1. So, again, Team 1 is leading. Team 1 bomber spam. The remnants of what the chicken happened. The Fat Boy is dead. Lots of sniper tanks, lightning tanks over there. We're really just not letting those bombers have any day in the sun. And G3 strat bombers over here to the west going after, looks like they tried to go after Mythologist, but he gets underneath the surface. Oh, just barely gets out of range of a couple of them. A couple bombers just get annihilated by those ASFs. Mythologist very, very close to death, but he does get out of there. I mean, he's in the mid-yellows, but still. Definitely going to be retreating back to safer area. Again, that water wasn't super deep, especially where he was, so probably going to get underneath some more shield coverage for him. 39 minutes on the clock. And again, it's T3 artillery, nukes, and satellites all in one place. Definitely a nice little target of opportunity here for Team 2 to try to go after, but they tried that, and the bombers paid the price and are being scooped up as we speak. Psychoad going for, I would assume shield at this point, because why would you go for anything else? You wouldn't go for teleporter. No, you can telebilly, so it's not teleport in the middle. It is shield. That's 19,000 hit points just added because, numbers and whatnot. And looks like artillery landing on some T3 P-gens. I think the SMD is dead. I don't see where it was right here. And there is a desync, unfortunate. But, I mean, given the way the game was going for a little bit, yeah, there's a lot of bomber spam. Yeah, Team 2 does have some ASFs. Team 1 has been stacking them up quite Regularly, though, they have 1 artillery piece, 2 satellites, a nuke, soon to be 2 artillery pieces. I mean, Team 2 would have to have a miracle and then some to really just come back in this game in terms of longevity. I mean, 1.5, 1.2, sorry, 1.1. So not really too great. There is an artillery started, but that's going to be a little bit of ways off. And the artillery's already raining in on that SMD right there. If they take that out, that's game over for sure. Because the air grid's going to go down. The other air grid's going to go down. It's just not going to be a fun time. ASF's tussle over here in the north. And it looks like there's a lot of AA over here. So Psychoad is going to get at least the lion's share of it. But then that AA is continuing to move. There's 2 chickens and a fat boy pushing in against 1 fat boy. So on land, there's really not a lot left. There are some chickens being built. There's maybe 1 that's going to be built in time. And, of course, M13 builds his tried and true M with his nice little T1 PD mixed in there. But fat boy is being pushed back. It's going to lose its shield. It's going to die first in a 1v1 affair. The shield is going to go down for Team 1's Fat Boy. Oh, looks like the shots actually get distracted by some engineers, so that'll be lucky for them. There is some groupers units over here to the east for these forces. Let's see, that's for Lou. Strap Bomber's coming in for the Fat Boy. I think, yeah, the Fat Boy's gone. Fat Boy is gone. That's a lot of AA here, not a lot of PD. The chickens might actually make it to the artillery piece. Of course, that is the main goal. Second artillery already half done. Psycho ad about ready to load a nuke. Will it be tactical? Will it be tactical? Will it be strategic defense nuke instead of strategic missile nuke? Or missile whatever. Losing my words, I guess. Couple of Ravagers being built over here in the west. Chicken moving into an intercept is not going to be there in time. Second chicken is still in the high yellow, so there could be enough amount of HP. There is a Fat Boy, 2 chickens inbound. Units already in the base. Nuke has been fired. Going for the air grid. Did the SMD go down? Yes, it did. So that is a nuke on the air grid. Chicken, first one, of course, is down. Second one's still alive and kicking. Ilshi's trying to help out. There are some Ravagers being built back here. But like I said, the damage is done. The air grid is dead. So that nuke is inbound. And that chicken is going to do a lot of damage. It'll probably take out everything in this mix. But again, the air grid is down. That's the most important thing in Team 1's eyes. And of course, let's just run over to the nuke. Kaboom! Takes out the entire air grid for M13 and a little under half here for Lou. But that's going to be killed in a minute anyways. But great grab there from the last ditch nuke. And the nuke silo will survive. It does survive. The Ion Storm, though, that's a different story. My child, says Bellarone. No idea what. Oh, the SMD, I guess. But both air grids are down. Secondary one here for Lou is about to go down. The remaining everything else is going down here for Team 2. It's not looking good. And that might be the end of the game in favor of Team 1. The artillery piece is still alive somehow. No. Oh. No, it's gone. Okay, I was going to say. I mean, that's pretty much it at this point. Let's see, what does Team 2 actually have left? Lou control Ks. Okay, so never mind. It's everything up to Velarone. And then, and M13. So M13 and Velarone are still here. Kind of forget. With M13's air grid being gone, I kind of forgot about that. Looks like everything donated to Velarone. So he's probably going to control M13 here shortly. There are some gunships inbound. Transport's going to get denied. And I think that's kind of the end of the story there here for Team 2. Just kind of mop up operations. More gunships inbound. There goes Velarone. He, I think, actually just control Ks. Yep. And then M13 is the last man standing. And I think that might be a departure to a better place or a different game. Or both. Probably both. And it's just going to be, like I said, mop up at this point. Well played, says Raynard. GG says M13. Again, those bombers did, I mean, pretty well. The first one was not great, but the last two were really great. And that is the game here, folks. Almost 45 minutes on the clock. Team 1 wins the game. MVP, I mean, I think... don't really know. The nuke was really, really important for Team 1. It took out essentially Velarone, knocked him out for the rest of the game, and then essentially put him in the grave with the second nuke. You know, the Western side was kind of back and forth. Yeah, there was some control Ks, which is obviously unfortunate, and there was a short, small, there's a little bit of a desync at the end. And there was a last effort by the chickens. They did get into the base and kill pretty much everything off, but the nuke is, definitely what really just wiped everything out. Of course, there was the chickens and the FAF boys running around here for Team 1's Mythologist. That really kind of cemented the win there, and it was essentially just mop up at that point. So I think overall, I really don't know who to give it to MVP. So let me know down in the comments who you would pick. Again, I appreciate everybody's patience with me with the travel, with my mobile setup, plus all that. I know it's not the 100% best quality that I could give, but it's better than not having a video. It's just been traveling a lot lately for work, so I haven't been able to stack videos that much as I normally would do. I'd stack a couple videos, and then when I travel, I release them, and then that's it. But it's just been so much travel and the holidays, kind of still recovering from, I had some banked. And long story short, I really appreciate the patience. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.